Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the regular meeting of Taber Town Council for Monday, July the 20th, 2026. I will call the meeting to order and ask for adoption of the agenda. Councillor Sorensen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make the motion that council adopts the agenda as amended to allow for the opportunity to undertake closed session items prior to the timing of the delegations at 5 p.m.
All right, thank you. Motion on the table. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. On to item number 3, public hearings are none. Item 4, adoption of the minutes. Item 4.1 on minutes, the regular meeting of council, June 23rd, 2026. Mr. Thibault.
Administration has no adjustments to the minutes. Back over to you.
All right, thank you. Any questions arising? Someone prepared to make that motion? Councillor Attenborough.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I move that council adopts the minutes of the regular meeting of council held on June 23rd, 2026 as presented.
Thank you. Motion on the table. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Item 4.2, minutes of regular or special meeting of council rather for July the 6th, 2026. Mr. Thibault.
Again, administration has no adjustments to the special meeting minutes. Back to you.
Thank you. Anything arising out of that? Councillor Weep, sure, you bet. You go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that council adopts the minutes of the special meeting of council held on July 6, 2026 as presented.
Thank you. Motion on the table. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Item 5, business arising from the minutes are none. Item 6, bylaws. Item 6.1, proposed bylaw 26-2026, repeal council code of conduct. Mr. Thibault.
So administration has recommended all 4 motions be put forward tonight, with the third one requiring to be unanimous. Just a bit of background on this one. So Bill 50 was introduced in 2025, and it basically negated our code of conduct bylaw. So province is putting in some newer framework, and they've identified what some of that framework is going to be. So this is administration just coming to do a repeal of a bylaw that really we can't uphold because of Bill 50. So back over to you, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Thank you. All right. Any questions arise in that regard? Councillor Ruffert.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm ready to make the first motion that council provides first reading to bylaw 26-2026, a bylaw to repeal council code of conduct bylaw 3-2022 as presented.
Motion on the table. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Councillor Attenborough.
I'm prepared to make the second motion.
All right.
I move that council provide second reading to bylaw 26-2026, a bylaw to repeal council code of conduct bylaw 3-2022 as presented.
Thank you. Motion on the table. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Councillor Firth.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that council unanimously agrees to proceed with third and final reading of bylaw 26-2026, a bylaw to repeal council code of conduct bylaw 3-2022.
Thank you. Motion on the table. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. And the fourth required motion, Councillor Sparks.
Yes, I'm prepared to make the motion that council provides third reading to bylaw 26-2026, a bylaw to repeal council code of conduct 3-2022 as presented.
All right. Thank you. Councillor Sorensen, any question?
Yeah, just I see in the background that there is a new Bill 28. Do you have a date as to when the new code of conduct or the new bylaw is going to be in front of us?
So no, administration hasn't been provided any kind of a date, just that there is a framework. It's probably going to involve some third-party group looking after that code of conduct, but there has been no code of conduct framework or rules or regulations provided to administration at this point, and I don't have a date.
Okay. I know at the last municipal conference that we discussed to ministers asking for this framework, but I guess they're still working on it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. We do have a motion on the table. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. All right. Item 7, action items. Item 7.1, privacy, access, and security policy. Mr. Thibault.
So if council recalls, the FOIP, or Freedom of Information and Privacy Protection Act, was done away with. In 2025, they came up with a new acronym, and administration came forward, asked council for some project money to go and get this framework looked after. It was required by a particular time frame. It might have been June of this year or July of this year. So we went out and we did that, and he came back with this extensive policy, and it does represent what we used to do under FOIP previously, but we didn't actually have a FOIP policy previously. And so this establishes that policy. Again, it's quite extensive, but it speaks to the access and security policy that we now have. Went through lawyers and came back looking how it looks. So it is one of our longer policies that's very prescriptive in nature, but in my experience, that's probably not a bad thing in this part of the world. So that's what's in front of council tonight, and we can field any questions if there was any.
All right, thank you. Anything arising? Councillor Sorensen?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. And that was kind of my question, was if there was some legal eyes looking at this, because it was a little too over my head. Yeah, a lot. So I'd be prepared to make a motion that council approves the privacy, access, and security policy ADM-17 as presented.
Thank you. Motion on the table. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Item 7.2, whistleblower policy. Mr. Tebow?
So the whistleblower policy has come forward for its renewal. It's actually a little past its 3-year renewal, but for various reasons, we needed to dig into the whistleblower policy a little bit. And I'll ask Grace if she would come forward and speak to the policy changes.
All right, thank you. Ms. Noble, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council.
Good afternoon.
So there are some minor changes being made to the policy, and they are minor in nature, basically related to the repeal that just went through, removing any reference to the Council Code of Conduct bylaw. We've taken that out of the policy, so that was one section that's been highlighted, just due to those legislative changes, as well as updating another article that referred to, we used to have a workplace harassment policy and procedure and a workplace violence policy and procedure, and now it's a combined document, so we want to update that in the policy, and as well as update our references at the end. So very minor changes. The procedure has more changes, which of course is not in front of council today. We did have that run through legal as well as our HR consultant, so it has been reviewed, and that one is a little more robust to complement this policy that's in front of you today.
All right, thank you. Councillor Sorensen?
Hi, and thank you. I know that there was some discussion for anonymity, sorry if I'm saying it wrong, cannot be guaranteed. I do know as council for us to fact find or to make the whistleblower complaint seriously, it is important to have a name, even though it's anonymous. Can you kind of elaborate how we're gonna maybe help in the future with this?
Yeah, so our previous procedure did have a section about anonymity or how to remain anonymous through the reporting process. However, through an HR consultant, we did determine that that is not always best practice, because it is hard to report back to the individual that put in the complaint if they're anonymous. Like, there is no individual to report back to. So that section has been removed out of the procedure. So moving forward, we will strive to keep the individual's name out of the report as much as possible, but their ability to remain anonymous is not guaranteed in the new procedure.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? All right, someone prepared to make the motion? Councillor Firth?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that council approves the whistleblower policy ADM-6 as presented.
Thank you. Motion on the table. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Item 7.3, Cornfest in-kind requests. Mr. Tebow.
So I believe it was maybe last year, might have been the first time. Maybe this has been the third year. I'm not 100% certain, but this is just showing the town's in-kind contribution to the Cornfest event that we have each year. It is a family-free event, a pretty large one, and we just would like to put in front of council same sort of information we had last year that just shows what kind of support we provide in kind to Cornfest, and so that's what's there.
All right. Councillor Antnak.
Mr. Tebow, just they used the letter from last year. Is there any expected changes, or is it pretty much uniform across year to year?
Good eye, Mr. Antonuk. They did use last year's letter. I think due to the changeovers and things that were going on administratively there, they weren't, for whatever reason, they didn't update the letter, but they were able to use that one. If we were to put a new date on it, it would serve the same purpose. And so that's kind of why we were okay with that.
All right. Any other questions? Councillor Sorensen.
Yeah, I think it's a great event. I think the town in general economically benefits and socially benefits from the great event. And there's a lot of businesses that donate a lot of time and put a lot of effort, and a lot of volunteers that volunteer to make this successful. So I'd be prepared to make the motion that council approves the in-kind support request from the Chamber of Commerce for the equipment, facilities, road closures, and staff support required to make Cornfest 2026 a successful, free family event.
All right. Thank you. Motion on the table. All in favor? Carry unanimously. Thank you. On to item 7.4, transfer of town-owned lands. Mr. Tebow.
This one I will smartly hand over to Hillary, and she'll explain what we're looking at and maybe sort of even why we're looking at it. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Jensen.
Thank you, Council. So with regards to the designation of lands within our financial system, so when we have lands that we want to put for sale, it comes to Council and we have them designated as lands for resale. And then also we have lands that are considered assets. And so when I was reviewing, when Finance was reviewing some of these lands, they noticed that some of them weren't allocated appropriately. And so in discussion with them, we went through and we found that there are some that needed to be changed for resale and then some that needed to be reverted to assets, as you can see on the maps. So there's 3 properties within the Eureka area that currently are ones that Council has agreed to subdivide. And as such, we would request that Council agree to approve the transfer of them from assets to lands held for resale. So those are the 3 that you see on the map before you. And then also in looking at this, just to make sure everything was aligning properly, I also looked at the lands held for resale and I wanted to make sure that everything was where it was. And as you can see, there is 2 properties that are actually within road right-of-ways and contain stormwater facilities that were held, were noted as for resale and should be for assets. We definitely don't want to sell future road right-of-ways or stormwater ponds. So with that, I would request the recommendation as presented.
All right. Thank you. Any other questions for that? Right. So I'm prepared to make the motion. Councillor Sorensen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make the first recommendation that the town council declare following lands surplus and transfer them from assets, lands for municipal use to lands held for resale. And as follows, do you want me to repeat the 3 locations?
As follows will work for us.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Motion on the table. All in favor? Carry unanimously. Thank you. And the second required motion. Councillor Firth.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that Council transfer the following lands from lands held for resale to assets, lands for municipal use as follows.
Thank you. Motion on the table. All in favor? Carry unanimously. On to item 7.5, plaque presentation proposal. Mr. Tebow.
She must be hiding behind the post because I can't see her. So we'll see if Megan Brennan can come up and speak to us about the plaque presentation.
All right. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Council.
Good afternoon.
So this kind of came about in a sideways fashion, so we're bringing it to Council this way. The Legion, as you're well aware, is turning 100 this year nationally, but also our local branch here. And it was made aware to me that that's actually a rather rare thing in Alberta to have happened, so congratulations to them. They've asked me not to spoil their secrets, but there is something coming this fall, and Council will be made aware of that when the time comes. But As council has done in previous instances for other milestones of this occasion, we're asking council if they would like to recognize the Legion with what we're recommending as a plaque. In our discussions with the Legion, they said that was appropriate for their needs and they would find it quite lovely in that case, but we can't do it without council's approval, so we are before you. The financial aspect is negligible. It will fit within our operating budgets. We're not looking at massive amounts of money here at all, so.
All right, thank you. Any questions whatsoever? Pretty straightforward. Okay, thank you. Councillor Firth?
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I'm prepared to make a motion that council directs administration to procure a commemorative plaque in recognition of the 100th anniversary of the Taber Legion and funds to come from the 2026 council-approved operating budget.
All right, thank you. Councillor Sparks, had a question? Okay, just chimed in there. Okay, perfect, thank you. All right, do you have a motion on the table? All in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Thank you. On to item 7.6, information for council. Mr. Stevel?
Okay, so we've got 3 items here tonight. The first one, there was a study that council had given administration approval to move forward with, and I believe it was at least a year ago anyhow, through the FCSS group. And they did this assessment across sort of a bunch of southern Alberta municipalities, maybe even among other things. And I think some council members here participated in it. It might have been Lethbridge. Was it the University of Lethbridge maybe that called and talked to a few people? So this is the culmination of that report. I put the executive summary in here. There is a much longer, larger, detailed report also that I could pass along to council if you had a desire. While I can't speak to a lot of the content of the report, I guess what I can tell you is I believe that this does support things that council and the chief of police and myself have seen around the community. So we're not imagining things. The timing of this was really good. It doesn't actually provide much in the way of solutions, but it has done some recognition and identified things that we are already dealing with in our community. So that report's in front of you. I think everyone knows Zach Morrison. If there was more that wanted to be figured out, I could certainly find a way to connect council with Zach. So if there's no questions on that one.
Okay, we're all good. Councillor Sorensen?
I was just wondering if there's something that, aligns with the needs of the community, if we could use this to help us advocate to the MLA or, other ministers to see if we can, get some type of financial support or support in general.
All right, Mr. Stevel?
So generally speaking, a report like this we would use to support something like that. So I think when we go out and do our research based on the notice of motion that was already put forward before, this will be something that we would want to put front and center because we would be asking or advocating for some provincial support in some of these areas. This would help with that for sure.
All right, thank you. Councillor Firth?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to provide some more background, I sit on the FCSS board, and Dr. Hallstrom came and presented to us, and it is a huge document, but if you're curious, you'd like to read through it, it's interesting. It's broken down by community as well. And the purpose for FCSS was to identify future program delivery and how, what the needs actually are so that they can or attempt to adequately address them. But it really does go beyond that. Like you said, it speaks to the needs in each community and allows us to advocate to the province and to the federal government as well for resources.
All right, thank you. Mr. Stevel, is this something that Zach and or an FCSS representative would be speaking to us in future about?
There was nothing on here that indicated that would be the case, but certainly could be something.
I just wanted to I remember when the individuals, the students that were here, I thought there was some discussion about some follow-up. So I was kind of expecting something presentation-wise besides the report, unless I misunderstood that somehow, but that's kind of what I was gathering at the time.
I can certainly ask the question.
Sure. All right. Thank you. Councillor Firth?
Actually, I can provide some information. When they presented this to the FCSS board, they said they'd like councils to take a look at it, communities to, become familiar with it. And if they wanted a presentation from either FCSS or from like the Prentice Institute, Dr. Hallstrom, that they would be willing to do that and just to communicate that
Okay,
through the
great.
NCSS.
Thank you. To me, I think that would be beneficial. I think we spent about an hour with them, if I remember right. It was a fairly in-depth question-answer format, right? So to me, that would be appropriate if council's on board with that idea and for future reference and future information, beneficial for all. All right, any other question on that? We're all good? Okay, thank you.
Okay, number 2, just the traffic committee meeting minutes. What I will note is the absence of the star on 54 that somehow didn't make it onto the agenda, so there wasn't discussed. But I can tell you that Mr. Abella is back, and there's been a meeting request, I think, put out for Wednesday. Yeah, so we do plan on holding a special meeting to discuss the star on 54 traffic and parking that the public had identified. So we'll be doing that this week, and then we'll have something back to council for the August 17th meeting.
Okay, great. Councillor Sorensen.
There was some also discussion in regards to citizens who are concerned about the use of e-scooters and e-bikes. And then it was just, I think, discussed that the town is looking into the bylaw. And are you hiring a third party into doing that, Mr. Thibault?
Yeah, so Graham and the traffic committee, I think even prior to your arrival on the committee, we had talked about that in 25. And so we've been going back and forth with trying to locate a consultant that would help us out. We actually have one. We've got a connection established, and we're working away on that in the background.
All right, thank you.
Oh, right. It's still me. Number 3. So community center update. So if everyone noticed, we did have a post go out, return to your rink or return to the rink. I think it was, I forget what you put together, Megan, but something about returning to the rink. So obviously we're fairly confident that we will be returning to the rink because we're having a party on the 31st to speak about it. So things are going quite well over there. We've got the netting up and the heaters are up. Ice is starting to be made. I was over there today and saw that they've got the white paint down in between the layers of ice. So we're looking pretty good. We will have a temporary score clock in there for the Verset Hockey School. And we will still be waiting on our speaker system to show up. But the Verset Hockey School is not needing that sound system for their purposes. So we will be ready. We have everything ready to go. There are still some final touches being put on in the lobby right now, but we are very confident that we'll be able to, of course, host our 31st event and then turn it over to Verset for their hockey school for a couple of weeks. So that's the community center update, unless there was some particular questions.
All right, thank you. That's great news. Any questions arising there? All right. Okay. Seeing none. All right, that's got it covered, Mr. Thibault.
That's everything under that one, yep.
All right, no motion required there. All right, moving on to item 7.7, operational highlights. I'll go through the reports, and if you have any questions, please advise. First report, Parks and Recreation. CAO operational highlights. Administrative Services highlights. Plan and Development report. Councillor Sorensen.
I see that Amy's here, and so I'll just ask a question. I see that you facilitated a downtown engagement lunch, and I was just wondering if you could provide some highlights and if there was good engagement with that. If that's all right, Mr. Thibault.
Yep, perfect, yep.
Thank you. So yes, we did host a downtown engagement lunch. It was attended by about 8 people from downtown, which we thought was a really great start to start some conversations. So we will have a document coming out shortly, what we heard document, that's being done by the consultants we hired to run it. And then we have a follow-up one scheduled in September so we can keep the conversations going, get the ideas going, and actually put some action to the ground with what the businesses would like to see.
All right, thank you. Councillor Everett.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I guess to Councillor Sorensen, I attended that, and I would hope more businesses come out to it, like, right, because it was really, really good, and I think it would really help to get that side of it to administration, the people that have the businesses downtown. So it was really good.
Great. All right, any other questions in that department? Okay. Next is HR operational highlights. Operational highlights for treatment facilities. Councillor Sorensen?
I just see that there's a study for the lower cell of the lagoon. Is this just regular maintenance, or is there something in the works for, a need?
Chris, do you have any details on what that might be about?
A study. We are doing work at the lagoon, and we are there will be a study of just in front of the desledging, but those are the upper lagoons, the first three.
Yeah, it's just point number 4. Studies are being conducted on the lower cell of the industrial lagoon. So I was just wondering if that's just regular maintenance or if there's something that we should be aware of.
No, we just do testing every year for the provincial government before we do irrigation. And then we also do throughout the season, irrigation season, where our license requires us to do certain testing, and I guess study might have been the wrong word that we used.
No, that's fine. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next is operational highlights for Public Works. Fire Department highlights. Operational highlights for Corporate Services. No other questions? All right. Seeing none, no motion required there. On to item 7.8, Mayor and Council reports. Councillor first, can you start us off, please?
Sure. So I attended the Canada Day flag raising and celebrations that were put on by the town. I noticed a lot of people were out and celebrating, which was, it was great. It was a really family-friendly event. So kudos to the town and for all the departments that helped put that on. I missed our special meeting due to a family holiday. And then I met, along with Councillor Sorensen, with a resident who was concerned about safety surrounding e-scooters. More to come on that later. And then I just wanted to highlight some upcoming events. Cornstalk is happening this weekend, July 23rd to 25th. We already mentioned the rink grand reopening or return to the rink, July 31st. Tabor's Table, highlighting our local producers with a long table dinner in the park, is coming up on August 15th. And of course, Cornfest from August 27th to 29th.
All right, thank you. Councillor Antony.
I attended all my meetings that I was scheduled to attend. I also went to the Canada Day celebrations, and thank you for all the staff and all those who were involved. It was fun. My kids enjoyed it, so it was good.
All right, thank you. Councillor Sorensen.
Okay, well, I have a little bit of a different update as to I was part of the team that went over to China, so I'll just let the public know that it was a busy schedule, and I believe that it was a successful event or a successful trade show in general. I'd like to thank Megan and the staff for putting out a very good post in regards to the awareness of what actually happened, the events that we attended. And so if you have any questions or if the public has any questions, they can feel free to ask me. But we traveled there, attended a conference. The Canadian government gave an update on pea crops from 2025 compared to what they are expecting in 2026. China and Canada signed an MOU in regards to the pea industry, so there was a renewal ceremony. We have had about a 2.5-hour roundtable discussion, including our presentation to potential investors. We did 4 factory tours, and then we met individually with some potential investors. So I think overall it was a very successful trip, and I hope there's more to come from that too.
All right, great, thank you. Councillor Sparks.
Yes, I'd just like to report that I sit on the Highway 3 Development Association, and it has created an awareness series of videos called The Road We Share. And the first video is available for all to see, called Every Journey Deserves a Safe Return Home. Now, these series of videos are to help build awareness of why a safer Highway 3 matters to all people who use and rely on it every day. And I hope the public and anyone will take a look at these videos because they're very well done. And it really explains a project from start and hopefully to finish. I also have had many interactions and discussions with residents regarding the play on hockey and the costs and revenues associated with this project. And also I've had some very lively discussions and information sharing with the residents on 52nd Avenue regarding the row housing project and their total objection and frustration with this project. And I'm happy to report that even though there is some huge frustrations and misunderstandings about these two issues, inside voices were used at all times.
All right, good to know. Thank you. Councilor Renfro.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I attended the meeting as I was able to attend. I want to thank everybody, administration, and working to get the rink back going. I imagine it'll be a little bit of time. I'm glad the score clock's not ready. We'll have like kind of 2 grand openings, right? So I'm pretty excited about that. So that was a big thing that happened, and I'm glad we're going to be on the other end of it pretty soon. So thanks. Clearview Lodge is having a sod turning ceremony on August 14th. To celebrate the renovations and expansions of Clearview. So come on down.
All right, thank you. Councilor Weeb.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I attended every meeting I was required to attend. I also completed the training that we were supposed to do. I attended the Canada Day flag raising and celebrations and the Bow River Town Hall on Bill C-273, the Farm Act. I also attended the Royal Canadian Legion Branch Number 20 flag raising ceremony to mark 100 years of service.
All right, thank you. For me, I'd like to reiterate also, and thank you so much, Mr. Thibault, Mr. Egan, and the administration, all involved, and all the town staff, and anybody involved with the Civic Center Ice Arena reopening coming up, and great that things are running smooth, and they have been all the way through. So that's kudos to all of you involved with that. And the public's been keeping a close ear on that project, and very happy to hear what's going on. So looking forward to the actual grand opening piece. I'm sure it'll be a very successful and well-attended event. I also attended the Canada Day flag raising ceremony, took part in some of the events on that Canada Day. I attended the Southern Alberta Summer Games grand opening event in Bow Island. That was very well done and very well attended, very well received. Not sure how we did overall there. It's anybody hear some numbers there? I know we had 150 athletes all total, but
Last I knew, last week I was asking about the stats, and I don't believe that the Summer Games crew at that point in time on Friday had released the stats yet. So I don't know the medal counts and that sort of thing. But when it comes out, we'll pass it along.
So with our crew and some of the members I talked to there, they were very happy with that and having a lot of fun with that, and they were putting on a really great event as well. So kudos to Bow Island for pulling that off successfully. I also attended the Tim Hortons annual Camp Day fundraiser event. And I also attended the Tabor Legion 100th anniversary flag raising ceremony event as well. And attended the MLA Grand Hunter UCP barbecue event held at the Birds of Prey Center this year. And that would be my report. Any questions whatsoever? All right, seeing none, no motion required there. Item 7.9, notice of motion, Mr. Thibault.
There has been some back and forth, and last I knew, I thought there was a notice of motion that would be presented today, so I'll hand that back over to council. The current notice of motion that's there on our report is still in progress. Obviously, this will take a little bit to get to the end of this one, so it'll be in progress for a while. So back over to council.
All right, so we have a new notice of motion coming. Councilor Fruth?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I alluded to it in my report that Councillor Sorensen and I met with a resident who was concerned about the safety surrounding e-scooters and e-bikes. And it's something that I've heard a lot about from lots of different people in our community, and reading in the news, it's a concern for a lot of places. The rise of popularity of e-scooters and e-bikes has been rapid and significant. So it's hard to legislate rules when it's such a new thing, and so I think they're working on definitions. But I just wanted the public to be aware that it is on our radar. We are, we share your concerns, and that we are moving toward a solution. But of course, it's never as quick as sometimes people would like. So following that, I have a notice of motion, that council acknowledges the growing public concerns related to the use of e-scooters, e-bikes, and other small mobility devices within the town of Taber, and directs that topic be discussed in open session at a future council meeting in order to provide the public an update on ongoing discussions, enforcement considerations, and the traffic bylaw review process.
All right, thank you. So in this case, Ms. Sheba, the last notice of motion we had, we went through and actually voted on that accordingly and went through. So in this case, this is already suggested to have an additional meeting come up where this does come up and the motion comes into play, or can we still deal with that today?
Yeah, so the idea of these work very well when we have the pre-discussion, and when a notice of motion is created in conjunction with administration, we would think that you would be able to look after that at this same meeting to vote for that to happen.
Okay.
This one just happens to have a future date on it because we're not in a place to discuss it. But yes, we would expect that you would make a motion on that tonight.
That makes sense to me. Just want to clarify that. So in this case, and I understand there's also some provincial involvement there that we're kind of waiting on as well, right? As far as that goes, and it's pretty key to whatever might come out of that.
So traffic committee discussions have already happened, and there is some provincial requirements, and they're working on some of those things, but they're not real well defined at this point. And so we would anticipate to have to want to work with them. And again, if anyone else wanted to speak up from the traffic committee, who I guess it's just you, Joanne, you're the anyone else. We did have some discussions around that, and there's definitely some things that have been raised. We don't want to, I guess, jump ahead of the provincial direction, but we certainly would like to do our best to align with it. And so that's some of the discussions.
So we can have some discussion about this now, as long as all councils are okay with that, and then do a formal vote on the actual motion, correct?
You can do, yeah.
Okay. So any other comments? And council okay with some discussion on that today? Okay. So for me, I'd just like to add that there has been a huge amount of concern. I've seen it myself many times there, and I think we're very lucky that nothing extraordinary has happened to date, but it's just a matter of time, I'm sure. And it's a huge concern, and it's just the kids, no helmets, double lane, et cetera, and 40 clicks, 50 clicks, some cases they're capable of, I think 60 clicks even, and some of the larger scooters is pretty scary. And they're passing vehicles and on sidewalks and all the rest of it. It's just, it's literally a free-for-all what's going on out there. And kids riding on the sidewalk and darting across the crosswalk on the scooter, it's like, well, it's getting worse, not better. So the sooner we've got something in place, the better. And I'm sure council on board with that as well, understands the gravity of the situation, and that we can't do enough sooner than later about this. So, Councillor Sorensen.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I think I just reciprocate everything that's said. You know, the lack of helmets, the excess speed, the lack of following traffic signs. You know, they're not even stopping at stops or four-way stops. They're just going right through. Citizens concerned that, you know, they'll shoulder check or they'll look behind them, but then it's just too quick, and then there might be one right behind them as they're backing out of downtown. So there's just, and there was an incident, I think, where there was a serious incident or maybe even a death in Medicine Hat. So, you know, like, it's coming, and so I feel like as council, we've heard from our citizens, and we need to act as quickly as we can so that we can ensure public safety. And then I think the huge need then is the education component of it.
All right, thank you. Councillor Sparks?
Yes, and I'd like to thank two councillors who brought this forward, because it is long overdue, but I just wanted to make the point, it's just not kids. There are just many adults that are disregarding, and they should know better, but they don't, and things need to straighten out, and there needs to be some, it's hard to enforce, but thank you very much for bringing this forward because it's a huge concern within our community.
All right. Any other questions, comments? All right, we do have a notice of motion on the table. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. All right, so we have our delegations here for 5 o'clock, and we can now move into the closed session for the closed session item. We have a bit of time before our 5 o'clock. Ask for motion to move into closed session, please. Councillor Sorensen, motion on the table. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Item 8.1, Lethbridge Senior Citizens Organization Partnership. Mr. Thibault.
So we have two representatives here, and I remember Kira, but I don't remember. Is it Maya? If you guys would come forward and run through the presentation, please. I told you I wouldn't remember by the time I got here.
All right. Welcome, ladies.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Kira, and this is Maya. We're here from the Seniors Community Services Partnership. We first wanted to thank you for letting us to come speak with you. So just a bit about who we are. We're an inter-agency. We're made up of 3 organizations, which is Norbridge Senior Center, Lethbridge Senior Center, as well as Lethbridge Family Services. And together we form a united front to enhance the lives of seniors and older adults in the rural and Lethbridge area. Yeah, so the people that we can help is we help anybody who's 55 plus in rural areas. So that includes Lethbridge, Lethbridge County, Tabor, MD of Tabor, Cardston County, Warner County, Pincher Creek, and also Crowsnest Pass. So yeah, 55 plus, and then we also help caregivers in those communities, as well as family or community members that may just be seeking resources or information for loved ones. So we help identify needs that we can support for a senior. So we do anything of the area of financial. We check to make sure seniors are receiving all of the pensions they're entitled to, or if they're missing pensions. We do housing, so we help apply for housing within Green Acres, SL2, lodges. We can identify elder abuse. We help with income tax. We have a free income tax program through LSCO. We help with physical health, mental health, family dynamics, and we just kind of do an overbroad to make sure somebody is gaining all of their needs, that all of their needs are being met. And then we also help with the connection to those resources. So say we identify some sort of abuse, we would connect them to our Learn team. Financial, we'd help apply for their pensions, or we can sit with them through the CRA, or we can help make those phone calls. Yeah, so some other things that we help with, we do a lot of community outreach, so we can meet seniors in their home or pretty much anywhere that's comfortable for them. Sometimes they're not always comfortable with us going to their home, so we can always find a space in the public that is good for them. And then we do a lot of advocacy, so obviously we've noticed that the systems aren't always set up for the seniors in these communities, so we can help just advocate, whether that's a healthcare team, going to appointments with them, having those discussions, and making sure that they're getting what they need from their professionals. We also offer some education, so we have some information sessions and workshops. Lots of those are held at the Lethbridge Senior Citizens Organization. And then with that, we also do a Community Connect group, so it's on hold right now, but we've ran that in McGrath, and then hoping to do that in some other communities, where we kind of just get our name out there and have seniors come and they can chat with us. And then we also provide emotional support. So our whole hope is to help seniors without judgment, and understand that they all have different needs and they're coming from different places. So we can help with one-to-one support and help them with coping skills and reducing stress and just, connection to those resources. That's about it, but our contact information is on the back. We are a free service, so there's no charge for us. And we meet seniors where they're at. We do our best. If we don't have an answer for something, we do our best to get that answer for them. We do rural intakes usually. We have them on hold just because the summer is a little bit busy. We're hoping to get them restarted again, but they are currently on hold just for the summer months. But we're always available, and
All right. Well, thank you, Kira, Maya, so much for your presentation. Appreciate that very much. Any questions of these young ladies? Councillor Wiebe.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I see that you've connected with the seniors facility and doctor's clinic. Have you reached out to FCSS or the Tabor Public Library in town?
So FCSS, typically there's a little bit of overlap with our services and FCSS. So we have found it a little bit difficult to work with FCSS, only because we just don't want to step on any toes or cross any lines with them, because their link workers do similar work to what we do. Ours is just more case management than them, and we're more long-term than them. But we haven't been connected with the library yet. We did try to get in with the senior center, and that that didn't go as planned. So we're just kind of hoping that we can get some more information out there and hope that we can integrate into the community for the seniors here.
All right, thank you, Councillor Renford.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And yeah, thanks a lot for the presentation. So I sit on Tabor District Housing, which would take care of the senior center. That that's what I was going to mention. If you had got in contact with Tabor District Housing to see what's, that would be who would be the governing body of the senior centers and stuff like that. So talking to them would be, you'd find out where your overlap or maybe where they needed it, and I'll pass it on too.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, thank you, Councillor Weeb.
Thank you. I just had one question about transportation, because you were mentioning about that. Do you offer transportation for seniors, particularly if they can't get from Tabor to Lethbridge? Because it sounds like a lot of your activities are in Lethbridge, and transportation can be a barrier in our community. Do you offer anything along those lines?
Yes, so we actually do offer a subsidy through our program. We've used it a few times with a few folks in Tabor to get them to doctor's appointments or other things in Tabor. We both have, we'll transport people if they need that. Just one other person with them for a doctor's appointment, we can help support them and get them to that doctor's appointment.
All right, Councillor Firth.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We also have an electronic sign out in the parking lot of our community center, and I thought maybe that's, I don't know if you do advertising, but it is free for nonprofits, and that might be a good way to get the word out and build awareness of your programs, because I think I didn't realize that there was resources like this. I just assumed, because so many of them are Lethbridge based, that it was only for seniors in Lethbridge, so that's great news for our community. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, any other questions arising? All right, well, thank you once again, ladies.
Yeah, awesome.
Thank you
so much. I have some hard copies here that I'll leave.
Sure.
But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Sorensen?
I see there's a recommended motion, so I'd like to
Sure,
make
you
that.
bet. Go right
The
ahead.
council thanks the Lethbridge Senior Citizen Organization for their presentation, so thank you, ladies, and accepts the presentation for information.
All right, thank you. Motion on the table, all in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you. All right, all we have left is media inquiries. Mr. Tebow, the usual.
The usual, there are none.
All right. Thank you, and our closed session items are complete. So I just ask for a motion to close the meeting, please. Councillor Firth, motion on the table, all in favor? Carried unanimously. Thank you.